Hello and welcome back to Sparring Sessions. We're just a couple days away from UFC Mexico City. Last night we had Strickland versus Hernandez, and then the week after we got another Mexican main event. It's a interesting fight night. We'll get into that, but what do you think of the main event there, Moreno versus Kavanagh on short notice?
It's one of the more bizarre ones I've seen in a while. Um, yeah, man, they are not doing Kavanaugh any favors. I don't think his management's doing him any favors. I'm sure he's confident. I'm sure he feels good about the fight, but this is he's biting off more than he can chew here. So yeah, it's a curveball. This is the
Yeah.
curveball. It's a changeup.
O-
Something in the dirt that you didn't expect.
Overall, though, what out of 10, what would you rate this whole fight night?
Give it a five.
5 out of 10, yeah.
I think the
I think
potential's high. I think the potential's higher than that.
Yeah, I think it's probably around 5 or 6 out of 10. Yeah, there's a couple of fights that I'm looking out for on here, but not too many
Yeah.
stick off of the page. But let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into it. First fight of the night, we have 8-2 Wes Schultz versus 8-1 Damian Pinnas. Both of these guys fresh off of Contender Series. Wes Schultz submission win, Suvloev stretch on Contender Series. If you don't remember that one over Mario Mingaj, it was only 4 months ago. It was one of the later episodes of the season. Uh, Damian Pinnas beat Vitor Costa, knocked him out early on in their fight. He has a 2.5 inch reach advantage over Wes Schultz. I want you to go first here. Who do you think's winning?
It's a tough fight, and I'm honestly a big West Schultz guy, so I'm gonna take West Schultz here to get a silhouette stretch like that. You got to be pretty high level, I think. And I'm not really sure if Pinaz has the grappling to hold up here, so I'm gonna go West Schultz here. Wouldn't be surprised if he got a weird submission. Also, wouldn't be surprised if Schultz gets knocked out here. Who knows? I know watching his fights, he burns hot, so. He could get clipped. He could nearly put Panas away, and then gas out himself and then get put out. So I'm gonna go West Schultz here. I think if you're betting money on Panas, you're gonna be sweating at some point. But let's see how it goes.
Uh, yeah, I'm on Pinas to be honest. I got to go with the striking threat more than I think if Wes Schultz keep this or if Damian Pinas keeps this on the feet, I think it's gonna be smooth sailing for him. I don't think Wes Schultz boxing kind of is up to snuff of Damian Pinas's, but we'll see what happens. I'm gonna say Pinas TKO in round two is
Hmm.
my where I'm kind of thinking. But anything can happen there. We move on. Eric Silva versus Francis Marshall in the next fight up the card. 9-3 Eric Silva versus 8-3 Francis Marshall. Both coming off of losses, but Eric Silva's on a 2 fight loss streak. It's been a while for him. 2 years ago, he had a leg injury against Muhammad Naimov. Early on in that fight, I think it was a knee injury, some of the sort. And before that, he got submitted by TJ Brown. Hasn't been the very active. It probably took him a while to recover from that injury, but he's back, 38 years old, against a 26-year-old Francis Marshall, who just lost to Myron Santos in a split decision last year. I'll go on this one. I'm going to go Francis Marshall. I think they're kind of giving him a favor here, giving him Eric Silva off of injury. He's been on the shelf for a while. That's a lot of ring rust that you'll accumulate, and you don't know how he's going to look after a leg injury like that. And man, that Francis Marshall fight, that was a robbery. He beat Myron Santos there, in my opinion. So I think he should be on a 2 fight win streak right now if you're looking at it like that. So I think Francis Marshall will be able to get through Eric Silva, and I'm gonna say he's gonna knock him out within the first 2 rounds.
I agree with you, man. I think you're doing him a bit of a favor here, which I'm not upset about. Big Francis Marshall guy. He's sort of local to my area. I believe he's from New Jersey or something like that. Trains with some guys that live near me. So I'm gonna go Marshall here too. I think he definitely won that Santos fight in let's say a second round TKO because Santos hasn't shown much since being in the UFC, and um, what he has shown is inactivity. So
All right, we move on to the next one up the card. Sta Karikate versus Sofia Montenegro. 71 inches of reach compared to 68 inches of reach for Karikate. That's a 3 inch reach advantage for 6-1 compared to 6-1-1 compared to 6-2. Ernesta's off of a win against Nicole Cagliari, and Sofia Montenegro is coming off of a loss on Contender Series 4 months ago to Gisela Chavez. It was a very close split decision. They gave both of the ladies a contract. Who do you think's going to win this one?
I'm probably going to go with Ernesta Karikata by decision here. She's probably going to do what she does. She comes from Lithuania. Lithuania has a lot of really talented strikers out of there. I don't know if Sofia Montenegro will be able to pose much of a grappling threat here, honestly. So give me. I'd also like to see how they match up against each other when it comes to the face-off. I think Ernesta's a bit bigger than her, a bit longer, and I think she'll be able to get caught on the end of those strikes from Ernesta. So give me Ernesta by unanimous decision.
I think I'm with you on this one. Ernesta, I think her striking is going to be way better than Sofia. Like it was a close fight on Contender Series, but you don't know like really how either of these girls are going to look in the UFC. So I can't really give either of them that much stock. Coming off of a fight like that, it was a very close fight, but I think Ernesta Karikate is the much better kickboxer on the feet, and she has the UFC experience at least, and the reach advantage. I'm going to go with Ernesta by decision here. We move on to the next one. Up the card, we've got Douglas Silva do Andrade versus Javier Reyes. Um, I didn't know he was still going, to be honest with you. 40 years old, nearly 41. 29-6 versus 22-5. Javier Reyes, the large favorite, minus 240. 5 inches of reach for Javier Reyes. Oh man, I get to go first on this one. He's coming off of an impressive win on Contender Series. He looks pretty good. He got a quick knockout over Justice Torres. Was winning fights in LFA before that. I don't know, man. I Douglas Silva de Andrade was losing to Miles Johns, and Miles Johns isn't the most incredible athlete, but he's at least UFC caliber. We don't really know anything about Javier Reyes if he's going to be able to compete. Like 22 and
All right.
5, it's an interesting record, but I'm going to go with Javier Reyes. I can't go with the 41-year-old in this slot. He hasn't fought in nearly 2 years. I think Javier Reyes is going to be able to win this fight by decision, I think, maybe. What do you think?
I'm also going to go Reyes here. I think 2 or 3 years ago, Douglas Silva de Andrade would have been a really attractive underdog. He might have not even been the underdog 2 years ago. Um, but he's been slowing down in his recent fights, and that was what 2 years ago. I can't imagine really what that looks like now. I don't really want to see what his weight cut looks like now, 2 years on, because he's a big fucking guy, and he had a hard weight cut for the last however many of his fights. I don't think it's ever been easy for him. So give me Reyes by decision here.
I like it. I like it. We move on to the next one. Christian Quinones versus Chris Mutino. Quinones 18-5 against Chris Mutino 14-7. 2 inch reach advantage for Quinones. Coming off of two losses in a row for Quinones against Raoni Barcelos and Kyung Ho Kang. Before that, he beat Khalid Taha in the UFC, and then he beat Long Zhao on Contender Series. Chris Mutino, on the other hand, he was on a killer streak on the regional scene. He got the call back to come back and fight Malcolm Wellmaker, and he got knocked out in the first round of that fight. Unfortunate for him. He's a plus 420 against Christian Quinones. Who do you got in this one?
Man, I feel like everyone's gonna go Quinones here, but I feel like this is a fight where he could win. I feel like he could exploit the grappling in Quinones. Hopefully, he actually comes into this fight with something that looks like a game plan. Where I think his clear path to victory is the grappling. He's shown that he has capable submissions outside of the UFC. I think, man, I really want to go against Quinones here. Honestly, I feel like Moutinho's submission is like my Green Goblin of the week. Mm, But I don't really think much highly of Christian Quinones either. Like this, Quinones could very well be minus 200, and I think that's okay. You know what I mean? Um, Whatever. I'm gonna go Moutinho here. I don't care how dumb I might look, but I think he has a clear path to victory. So give me him by submission.
I'm torn on this one. I don't really know where to go. I'm definitely scared and off put by the odds.
Yeah.
Minus 650 is massive for Quinones. Chris Mutino has never won a UFC fight, and it's not like it's only been like killers. Like he got Malcolm Wellmaker and Sean O'Malley, but Guido Canetti, he couldn't even beat Guido Canetti on his
People
first
forget,
run.
man. He's got bricks in his hands.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I would love for Chris Mutino to win this one, but I maybe he's just not up to snuff.
And gets the feel good stories, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. I think I'm gonna go with Christian Quinones to
If he gets
win.
slept, if he gets slimed out again, do you think he'll get another one?
If he gets finished, no. But if this goes all 3 rounds, is a close back and forth, like a split decision, maybe he gets
I
another
feel good though,
chance.
because if he wins, he'll get like 4 more fights.
Yes, yeah, for sure, for sure. And Christian Quinones is very beatable, but I think I gotta go with
Yeah.
him in this slot. I think I'm leaning towards a decision here, maybe. Like Chris Mutino is pretty. Like he got knocked out by Malcolm Wellmaker, but I'm not holding that against him. I think he can take a beating. Christian Quinones decision's my pick. We move on. Macy Chiasson versus Eileen Perez. 10-5 Chiasson, 12-2 Perez. She's on a massive win streak at this point. What's it like five in a row for her before she lost to Stephanie Egger and has won 5 in a row since then. That's very impressive. But she's at a 6-inch reach disadvantage here against Macy Chiasson. And Chiasson's massive compared to her. 6 inches of height, 6 inches of reach over her. That's quite a lot. And like she is a pretty good boxer on the feet when she wants to be, at least. Her last 2 fights, she's not looked that good. But I'm going Eileen Perez. No, I can't go with Macy Chiasson here. I think Eileen Perez is going to be able to implement her grappling game, which has looked pretty good recently. Being Carol Rosa and Daria Zalesniakova in recent memory, but that Carol Rosa one was pretty close. It was a closer decision, but I think Carol Rose won the first round and Eileen won the second and third. But I just don't see Macy Chiasson being able to get up off the ground if Eileen takes her down. So I'm saying Eileen Perez wins a decision over Macy Chiasson.
I agree with you. The size difference will definitely be there, but you know what they say, everyone's the same size on the ground. So I think Chasson's gonna get put on her back that we've seen before. She's just kind of the turtle there. Um, she doesn't have the craziest game. She'll definitely throw things up off her back. Game will definitely prevail here. So give me Perez by decision. Actually, wouldn't be surprised if Perez got a finish.
I wouldn't be either. We move on. The final prelim bout of the card, the featured prelim bout, we've got the Mexican punching bag Jose Medina against Ryan Gondra. You gotta have Jose Medina on the UFC Mexico City card. Like it wouldn't be a UFC Mexico card without him. This one's a brutal one, to be honest with you. 11-6 Jose Medina, 4 losses in a row for him. All in the UFC. I mean, one's on Contender Series, so 3 in a row on UFC before he lost on Contender Series. What was that guy's name again? Gadziasulov. People forget,
Something.
man. People forget,
He
man.
was he was horrible.
He was awful. How has Jose Medina had a longer UFC tenure than him, though? That doesn't make sense. Ryan Gondra just obliterated Trent Miller on the Contender Series. Are you picking Ryan Gondra here?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Gandra is great though. I think he has a super soft body, like we saw this past weekend with Fluffy. But I also don't think Medina has the offense or the output to really make him pay. So it really depends. I think if Gandra loses, it's gonna be because of his dumb game plan. But Gandra probably should wrap this fight up and get him out of there. So that's what I'm going with.
I agree. I mean, it sucks for Jose Medina, man. This guy, his best trait is absorbing damage, but he just doesn't seem to know how to give it back to people. To this day, though, it's only been Atiba Gauthier that knocked him out. So I don't know if I'm entirely sold that Ryan Gondra is going to be able to do it, but I'm going to have to lean on Ryan Gondra to knock out Jose Medina in the first 2 rounds of this fight. It's going to happen. At some point, the chin just goes. You know, you can't just
Yeah.
always
Look at Dan Ige.
absorb. Yeah, exactly. There you go. That was insane. That was absolutely nuts. But yeah, I'm gonna go Ryan Gandra, TKO in the second round. We move on to the first main card bout of the card: Santiago Luna versus Angel Pacheco. Angel Pacheco, man, this guy, it's been a while since he fought. It's been nearly 2 years, 7-3 against Santiago Luna, 7-0, who he just beat Quang Lee 5 months ago. But if you remember, Quang Lee did actually have him hurt pretty badly, and
Yeah.
then he was like kind of pushing for a finish, and Santiago Luna landed. It was I can't even remember what the finishing blow was, but it was like it was a nice counter, put Quang Lee down. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage here over Angel Pacheco. I think he's only 21 years old, so he's like so much improvements are going to be made in this guy's career in the coming years. But I think he's going to get through Angel Pacheco for sure. His boxing looked impressive against Quang Lee. His ability to fight back into the fight after he was hurt was pretty impressive too. And Angel Pacheco is just a guy that I've never been too like fond of. Never been too high up on this guy. AO. I just don't really think he's that incredible. And I think Santiago Luna will be able to knock him out in this fight under 1.5 rounds. That's what I think.
I can definitely see it. I don't think that these guys should be minus 500 over each other. I don't really agree with that. I do agree with you in that Luna will get Pacheco here. So I don't think as much as to say Pacheco's known for being a dog, so he might not get put away, but I think he's going to get coasted on by Santiago Luna.
All right. And we move on to the second fight on the main card. This fight, I said this is my favorite fight on the whole card last week, and I stand by this one. Imanol Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. This is a banger fight, I think. Rodriguez off of the Contender Series beat Rook Conceição, and Kevin Borjas. He's 2-3 in his last 5 fights, but they're still impressive performances nonetheless. The Sumaderji one was a close performance. He beat Ronaldo Rodriguez. You know, that was that was a big underdog win. I think that was the Sphere card. Um, that was a pretty impressive win. He lost to Alessandro Costa and Joshua Van, but he beat his opponent on the Contender Series. He's had a wish-washy tenure in the UFC, but Imanol Rodriguez, I think, he's got to win this fight. He's got to win this fight. He's got all the momentum coming off the Contender Series. He looks to be one of the future prospects in this division. Like, maybe I'm going too far there, but he looked really impressive on the Contender Series, and I think he's going to pass this test. Kevin Borjas is a very good striker, but I think Imanol Rodriguez knocks him out in this fight in the second or third round.
I'm right there with you. I Horas has, you know, he came in with a good amount of hype. I think he's won fights that he shouldn't have and lost fights that he should have won sometimes. So yeah, give me Imanol Rodriguez by TKO round two here. But knowing Boran still win the decision, who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah,
Who
yeah.
knows?
We move on. Edgar Chairez versus Felipe Bunes. 12-6 Chairez, 14-8 Bunes. 2-inch reach advantage for Chairez. But Bunes is 6 years older as well. I'll let you go first on this one. Who do you got?
It's been a while since we've seen Shiraz, right? I think been a little
It
bit.
has, yeah, like 10 months.
10 months, yeah. It's a good bit. What was his CJ Vergara fight? All right. Uh, I kind of like the odds here. Yeah, I like the odds here. I think Edgar Shiraz is probably going to put it on Bunez. Probably finish Bunez too. Um, Shiraz has been around a bit. You know, he is tough as fuck. He's had crazy fights with Joshua Van and I believe Tattoo Atara. So I like this guy. I think he's definitely a guy that should be ranked, could be ranked for the long run. And I don't know if I say the same about Felipe Bunez, who's 14-8 with three finish losses. And I think that Shirez is going to exploit that and put him away at some point during the fight.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I think Edgar Chairez's finishing potential is very high in this fight, and Felipe Bunes, he's known to make some mistakes in these fights. I mean, the Jose Johnson one was unexpected. I think that was an underdog win for him. I was not expecting that one, but Joshua Van he made quick work of him, and Rafael Estevan was able to get through him as well. I think Edgar Chairez will be able to find a submission over Felipe Bunes. He's a killer grappler, but Chairez is very physically imposing, and this could be a club and sub scenario too, where he hurts him on the feet and kind of pounces for a finish. But I'm leaning towards a Chairez submission win in the second round of this fight. So that'll be my pick. We move on. Daniel Zellhuber versus Bobby King Green. 15-3 Zellhuber on two fight losing streak right now against Michael Johnson and Esteban Ribovic. Bobby Green 33-17-1 on a one fight winning streak, just beating Lance Gibson Jr., a short notice replacement, I'm pretty sure that was. But he lost two fights in a row before that. He's 2-3 in his last five fights. 6-inch reach advantage for Daniel Zellhuber. Minus 500, huge favorite. Who do you got in this one?
Man, I kind of want to go Bobby Green here just because I feel like he could teach him the same lessons that Michael Johnson did. But man, that it's to say I'm torn is an understatement in this fight. I think Zellhuber definitely he could right the wrongs of his last fight and go out there and finish Bobby Green. I don't think that he should be a minus 500 favorite, but he is in Mexico. Being a Mexican, give me Zellhuber by decision here. I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Green eats out a decision either because he's still crafty and Zellhuber's young. So yeah, give me
Yep.
Zellhuber by decision.
All right. I'm going with Zellhuber here. I think he is due for a win. I don't like saying that, but man, this guy, like, I thought he was going to beat Michael Johnson for sure. That one was really surprising to me. He
Yeah,
totally could lose this one against Bobby
crazy.
Green, but Bobby Green, even against Lance Gibson, he kind of just like, I get he was beating Lance Gibson pretty obviously, but the whole time he was just emoting on him. He never did anything that was really setting himself apart. I think he just falls into his own trap most of the time, and I think Daniel Zellhuber, he's got the heavier punch at this stage in his career. I think Bobby Green's gonna have to kind of watch out for his boxing on the feet. He can't really let it go the way he has to, and I think Daniel Zellhuber's gonna hurt him and pounce for a finish and get a submission. It's gonna be a club and sub scenario where Bobby Green might be winning. He might be emoting on him, doing the whole fucking arm movement stuff that he likes to do. And then Daniel Zellhuber's just going to land something in the second round or third round when Bobby Green's not expecting it. Is going to stumble him. He's going to doing the spaghetti legs like he did against Jalen Turner. And Zellhuber's going to take his neck and he's going to rear naked choke him. That's my pick. We're going Daniel Zellhuber round 2, round 3 submission. We move on to the co-main. Marlon Chito Vera versus David Martinez. Oh, it's a pretty good co-main event, to be honest. I'm excited to see this fight, especially after David Martinez's last performance against massive jump up in the division against Rob Font, where he ended up just destroying Rob Font. Marlon Vera is 1-4 in his last 5 fights, 23-11-1. David Martinez 13-1, massive win streak, but he's 3-inch reach disadvantage for David Martinez though. I'm going with David Martinez. I don't trust Marlon Vera at all in this stage in his career to come into any fight with a game plan, with a smart game plan at all. I think this guy he just he just expects to go 3 rounds and the judges give it to him. But that's not how it works. He's got to actually work in the cage, and he never really is trying to push for a finish. He's never really trying to fight his way back into these fights. He lets himself lose decisions like all the time. And David Martinez, he's going to be on the front foot, backing Cheeto down the whole time, landing numbers, landing strikes, trying to get him out of there. I wouldn't be surprised if Martinez had like a weird moment where he was backing Cheeto down to the fence and he got a knockdown on Cheeto. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Martinez packs heat in his punches. He's always like angry in the cage. He's like got a mean look on his face the whole time. I think he's going to dominate Cheeto Vera to a decision 30-27, 20, maybe 129-28, but 30-27 is across the board, I'm thinking.
I'm going Cheeto here. I think he showed a lot of improvement in his last fight, and I thought he won his last fight. And I think the Eamon the Hobby keeps getting away with these very close fights. I think this is a sell high, buy low spot on Cheeto. I think Cheeto can maybe come out looking very similar to how he did his last fight because he did throw a lot more volume. I think that Cheeto's shots can make Martinez pay a lot more than Rob Font can at this stage in their career. Hopefully, hopefully. But I think Martinez is going to bring the fight to Cheeto, and I think Cheeto, if the Cheeto that showed up last fight, even in a loss, shows up, I think he can win a decision against David Martinez. Albeit, Martinez has looked very good. He came in and beat Rob Font pretty soundly, but I don't think it's over for Cheeto, and I think if Cheeto loses this fight, it'll be over for him. But I don't think it is over for him yet. So let's go Cheeto.
Interesting. Interesting. I like to see it though. I like to see us clash heads. I like that. We move on. The main event of the evening: Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanagh. This is a short notice replacement for Kavanagh. Moreno, who was he originally supposed to fight? Suamabayev. He was originally supposed to fight here.
Inky.
But of course, Sue he can't show up for payday, so we get Loner Kavanagh saving this card. It was supposed to be Charles Johnson though. He was offering himself, but he just got put out pretty bad like a month ago, so obviously they're not going to give him a fucking main event. Brandon Moreno, 23-9-2, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, coming off of a loss to Tetsuro Taira, punches from back mount. It was an iffy one. He was kind of still fighting, but
Yeah.
he couldn't really get out of the position. Kavanagh, on the other hand, just got brutally KO'd by Charles Johnson 5 months ago. But he was on a pretty good streak before that, had a lot of hype, a lot of potential. I still think Loner is a pretty good prospect, but I don't know if I'm picking him here against Brandon Moreno. I think this is getting the goodwill of the company. Next,
He's securing
this
the
is
bag
like
for his next contract.
exactly. This is like NBA teams tanking. Like next fight he's gonna have like the best layup ever. He's gonna get like a highlight reel knockout in his next performance, but he's got to get through this season of tanking first, where he loses to Brandon Moreno. How is it gonna go though? I think Brandon Moreno. I don't know if I trust him to get a finish in his like this stage in his career anymore. I think he's gonna fight a good fight, a dominant fight, but I'm thinking like a 49-46 decision more than I'm thinking a finish. What about you?
I think this is a huge step up. If he's getting caught in between combinations or at the end of combinations by Charles Johnson with the hands, he's definitely going to get caught at the end of combinations and in between combinations uh, by Brandon Moreno. I wouldn't be surprised if Moreno puts him out in like rounds 3, 4, and 5. But I'm going to go with decision two, where Moreno probably hits like 150 plus significant strikes. Would not be surprised in the slightest. Moreno might want to come out and put out a statement though on him since his last finish. He might have a bad taste in his mouth. He might really go for that finish in Mexico. And
That's true.
he kind of gassed in China, and now he's in Mexico City. He might gas even harder, and like, he might gas in Mexico City bad. Moreno TKO is not a bad play. I don't think. I don't think we have the odds for it yet, but I'm gonna go Moreno. Probably take a look at Moreno's significant strikes because he's not gonna one hitter quitter. He's definitely gonna roll downhill with those strikes. So. Give me Moreno by finish rounds 3, 4, and 5.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the whole card, and I'm excited for a couple of these fights, to be
Oh,
honest. But
100%. 100%.
before we wrap up though, let me jump to the next week of fights, UFC
Oh, yeah.
326, and I want to find, not including the main event, I want to know what your most anticipated fight on the entire card is. I can go first here if you want.
Yeah, go for sure. Go first, and I'm gonna take a look as we speak.
All right, so UFC 326, Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira, obviously. Um, my most anticipated fight on this whole card. This is an interesting one, but it's an early prelim bout. It's just I'm always a fan of this guy's fights. He's the ultimate underdog, I like to call him. Jesus Aguilar versus Sumaderji. I think this is a pretty fun fight. Sumaderji's a very long opponent, very long reach advantage, and Jesus Aguilar's notoriously short reach advantage. I don't know how this fight's gonna go. It'll probably end up being Sumaderji winning, but I always love backing my guy Jesus Aguilar, and I think that'll still be a fun fight. So you got your fight now?
How are they? How did they not let Charles Johnson get that fight, but now they have Cody Brundage versus Dante Johnson on that card the week after?
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense to me. Um, wow. But as far as fights on this card, I gotta go with the rematch of RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez, and Bruno Ferreira. Those guys are violent, and someone's gonna get knocked out or finished, submitted. So yeah, go RoboCop.
that's a killer fight. That's a killer fight. But yeah, that's the show. That's everything we got for you. Before we wrap up, I hope you guys enjoy the next fight night, and yeah, that's all we got for you. So if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and watch our other stuff. And yeah, we'll be back here for more soon. Thank
Peace.
you for watching.